Hi, Tonya Kern. It's nice to be with you today. I'm Tondra Deverell, and I'm with Women's Council of Realtors Virginia. I'm the current 2026 president, and with me today is our strategic partner. She's our strategic partner for Women's Council of Realtors Richmond, as well as Women's Council of Realtors Virginia. And she is with One Presidential Mortgage, and we are so happy to have you here today. How are you today, Miss Tonya?
I'm doing well, Tandra. How are you? How are you? I'm just happy to have a little bit of sunshine outside.
Absolutely. We've had enough snow days, right? So
Yes,
today is
yes, yes.
February 12th and it's about 10 a.m. And we're just going to do a quick, brief interview, spotlight you today. We're so grateful that you are sowing seeds into Women's Council of Realtors Virginia, but not only that, but into our community. And so with that, we have some questions to ask you regarding the services that you can provide to people in the community that they may not be aware of. So we'll go right into the first top question that I have for you. And you do personalize and provide service that is more focused towards individuals. So you personalize it, and so you bring both empathy and expertise to your role. And how do you personalize the loan experience for each one of your clients, Tanya?
Tandra, thank you so much. I do work really hard to make sure that it's an individual experience for every client that I work with. I believe that the mortgage process should feel personal, not transactional, right? This is a relationship that I'm building, with the client and then also with the realtor. It's a full partnership. It's a team effort. I like to refer to my process as a triple A approach, and that really guides what the process looks like for every client. The first A in that is I'm authentic. I take time to understand not just someone's numbers, but their goals, their fears, what homeownership means to them. A first time buyer needs education and reassurance. A builder client needs a strategy and timelines. An investor, they need efficiency, right? So I want to understand who they are so that I can show up authentically the way they need me to. The second A in that approach is available. I make sure clients and agents can reach me because questions don't always come 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, right? Like could be Saturday at 9 p.m. and we need to make an offer quick because it's a hot market or this house is, the deadline's approaching, right? So I make sure that I'm available. And the final A of that approach is accountable, right? So I set clear expectations and I own the process from pre-approval all the way to closing. My clients know that I'm not just approving a loan. I'm guiding them through one of the biggest financial decisions of their lives. And I take that very seriously.
Awesome, awesome. I love it. I love it. The personalization is a must because everybody's situation and every person is different. So thank you for that, Tanya. We've all had different walks of life, so we have to meet people where they are. So I love that you're willing to do that. So loan specific, what are the most important factors lenders consider during a pre-approval process? Like how can a buyer best prepare?
Absolutely. So pre-approval really comes down to four pillars, right? So there's income, there's credit, there's assets, and there's debt, right? So lenders like to look at the overall picture and we like stability. So stable income, managing your manageable debt to income ratio, which is how much of your monthly income is going towards your current obligations plus your mortgage, right? And consistent financial behavior. Credit isn't always just about the score, it's about patterns. So when we're looking at a credit report, yeah, the score matters, but it's also about your patterns and your ability to repay. So the best way to prepare, avoid major purchases, don't change jobs without talking to your lender. Sometimes job changes don't really matter. Sometimes they really do, especially if your income structure is changing. So make sure you have a conversation with your lender. Keep your bank statements clean. Things like movement of money, try to minimize that in the couple of months leading up to making offers onto homes. It just the less an underwriter has to look at or question, the better, right? And
Right.
most importantly, have a strategy conversation early. I cannot stress enough that the sooner that you talk to a lender in the home buying process, the better you are going to be prepared to make that offer. That's where I really strive to be authentic and accountable. I don't just pull credit and issue a letter. I help clients understand what the numbers mean and create that plan going forward so all of their questions are answered and we can make adjustments as needed.
Awesome. And that is so important and key because a lot of times they rely on the realtor and I have to send them back to the lender. And so I love that you're upfront and you're definitely being proactive about it. So thank you so much for that, Tonya.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the next thing is expertise and trust. What sets you apart from other loan officers? And, basically, why should, a person seeking to purchase a home trust you with such an important financial decision?
So I will say what I believe sets me apart is that I operate as a strategic partner. So just like that's my title with the Women's Council of Realtors, right? Like I
Yes.
am a strategic partner for my clients. I'm not just a lender. I have a deep experience in builder financing. I understand first-time home buyer education and all of their needs and complex loan structures. Some of the loans that I do, I pride myself on saying nobody else would have done. I take the time and I focus and I do all of my due diligence to make sure that I get somebody to the closing table. Clients get the real story from the gate, not sugar-coated promises. It always is what it is. I'm very direct and very honest about what we can and can't do and how we're going to get there. Agents and buyers alike know that I'm going to answer my phone and answer questions, and I'm going to make sure that I keep everybody updated throughout the process. If I say I'm going to hit a closing date, I'm going to hit it, right? So I really like to be accountable to that. And it's really, really I'm really focused on clear communication, follow through, and transparency all throughout the process for all parties involved. And I love partnering with super strong realtors that feel the same because when lending and real estate are aligned, clients totally reap the benefit of that.
Absolutely. You couldn't have said that better. Thank you so much. Next question I have for you is about values and community fit. So you're very active in the community, which I thank you for that. You also have knowledge with Habitat, Humanity, um, and let's see, I'm sorry, my screen here want to lock up on me.
Oh, you're good.
Habitat Humanity, and you also are with the PWB, and
Mhm.
you also do a host of other local events. How does giving back into your work as a loan officer, um, how does that make you feel? And what do you enjoy most about helping people through the mortgage process? And with that, I'm going to ask you to add to that, add a little bit leverage on that and share your favorite story that you can remember.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, lending and community are connected, right? Like I'm not a born and raised Richmonder, right? But I've been here since 2008 and this community means a lot to me. Homeownership builds stability in the community and stability builds stronger communities. So I think that it all kind of works together, right? So through my partnerships with Habitat for Humanity, Professional Women in Building, and just other local organizations, I made a pact going into 2026 that I would volunteer my time at least one day a month. So whether it be walking dogs at animal control or Friday night, I was at the Tim Tebow Foundation Night to Shine at the local church, and just doing those things helps me stay rooted in why I do this work and impacting the community. So that's really what this job is to me. It's not, or this career is to me. It's not just about income. It's about the impact I can make on people's lives. So serving as the chair of PWB and launching initiatives like our Women in Construction Scholarship that we just came up with, which I'm so excited about. I was able to, figure out how to help local Richmond girls that want to explore a career in home building and go to school for that, be eligible for a scholarship that PWB and the Home Building Association of Richmond is sponsoring. So it reminds me that empowering others is that's part of my responsibility as a lender and a community leader. I genuinely care about the people and the industry that I serve. So doing that giving back makes me better at my job. A favorite story of mine, I will say, I was able to take a couple who I met in early 2023. actually, sorry, mid-year 2023, and they ended up closing on their home early 2025. When I met them, they were not eligible for a mortgage right away. We did all of the work together. We partnered, we stayed in contact. And, 18 months later, after meeting them and doing that first initial credit pull, they were under contract. And, it took a while and it took a lot of work on their part and just, being able to hold their hand through that process and see their faces on closing day, knowing that they achieved something that they felt like was impossible when we met, like that's how I lay my head down on my pillow at night and feel good. Those
Absolutely.
stories.
Absolutely. And then my final question is, for first-time home buyer guidance, because they do need that, right? Because they have
Yeah.
no knowledge of what they're getting into, but they're excited about knowing that it's possible for them. And I'm excited about knowing that there's help for them. So I also want you to speak about the program where some funding is becoming available in this
Mhm.
last question as well, so they can be aware of what's out there for them. Because a lot of times first-time home buyers don't have the money saved up for down payment as well as closing costs, but they can still have home ownership because they make that income. They have the good credit. They just don't have the funds saved. So I want you to talk about the programs that's available that that's coming, where there's money out there available to them, and then out there available to any of our heroes as well. So with that question, what advice do you have for a first-time home buyer who feels overwhelmed by the lending process because there's so many documents that they have to come up with up front? Is there some type of document that can be provided with a list of things, of expectations, so they won't feel so overwhelmed about the process?
Absolutely. So my advice for first time home buyers, the first thing I would say is breathe. It's never a question of if you can buy a home, it's always when. We're going to figure it out together. You don't have to know everything. That's my job, right? I do this for a living, right? Allow me to be that brain for you and remember all of the things on the lending side of things. Allow your realtor to be that partner that they are for you and remember all of the things that need to happen during the purchase transaction, right? You breathe and try your best to enjoy the process. That's advice number one, right? Because it is exciting.
It
Let's be
is.
excited. Don't get caught up in the weeds and lose all the fun, right? You're buying a home. This is big stuff, right?
Absolutely.
So the lending process feels overwhelming to most people because it's unfamiliar, not because it's impossible, right? So it's all starts with a conversation with a lending partner that you feel like will educate you, communicate clearly, and give you a clear plan. And a lending partner that partners well with your realtor because you want that team environment that's got your back throughout the entire process. That way you can just sit back and enjoy it, right?
Yes.
Asking questions doesn't make you unprepared, it makes you smart. So ask all the questions, okay? There's no such thing as a question that should not be asked. And you should always feel like your lender is not getting exasperated with you or feeling frustrated. Like they should welcome those questions because any question that you ask gives you the information that makes you an informed buyer, which informed purchasers are the ones that we want, right? We want to make sure you are making a decision that's right for you and that you're fully aware of all of the aspects of that decision. Now, as far as programs that are available for first-time home buyers, oh my goodness. Okay, so Virginia Housing has a community heroes grant, right? So that's additional help to help with closing costs. So that is actually, it was 10,000. It's about to swap down to 5,000 coming up here shortly, but it's still money towards your closing costs. Okay. So that's super, super helpful. That saves you some cash out of pocket, right?
Yes.
Virginia Housing also has their DPA, which stands for Down Payment Assistance grants that are available on either their conventional financing or their FHA financing or VA finance. So that is a percentage of your down payment that comes to you as a grant, right? So those are some great programs. Now, the one I think you were alluding to, which is super exciting because those funds drop on February 23rd, and that is the FHLB grant. So that is big, big money. So that is, there is a community heroes portion of that, which is 15,000. There is the first time home buyer portion of that, which is 17.5. And then I'm sorry, I misspoke. The partners one is 15,000. The community heroes one is 20,000.
Wow.
$20,000. That can be that
$20,000. And what I wanted to say real quick, because when people think of community heroes, they think of teachers, they think of principals, they think of staff, the assistants. But I just heard by listening to one of the recordings that you can be a cafeteria worker and qualify.
Yep,
So,
exactly.
yes.
So
Information
exciting.
is super good to know because a lot of people think they've been counted out because I'm at the low end, but you're the one that actually make things work. Without you, we cannot survive. So we want to
Exactly.
add those benefits on to everybody that's in that industry. So I'm excited. I was
Exactly.
excited to hear that because that was knowledge that I was not aware of.
Yeah, so exciting. And that money, Tandra, can be used towards down payment and closing costs. So
Wow.
you could potentially come to the table with minimal commitment, right? So there's a minimal requirement that you have to bring of your own funds, but think about that. $20,000, I mean, that's life-changing money. That gets someone into a home that maybe wasn't going to get into a home before. And that, I
Absolutely.
mean, that's amazing. That's
That is
amazing. So,
amazing. And with Valentine's coming up, it's definitely an opportunity for people to say, you know what, we're not doing the roses. We're going to plan. We're going to put this together. We're going to take advantage of this free money. We're not going to wait until it's coming out because when it comes out, everybody's grabbing it. You want to
yeah,
try to work with your lender, get with your agent, know that you're prepared so that you can start your search because that house has to connect with you as well. So it's just a whole bigger process than waiting. Waiting could actually mean that money could run out on you. So the time to
100%.
act is now.
100%. Yep. You want to be prepared. So you should be starting that process today. That way, when those funds drop, you are ready to hit the ground running.
Awesome, awesome. And Taria, what's the ways that they can reach out to you about the process, about the program, to see what they qualify for and get them engaged, excited, and falling in love with their home for 2026?
Absolutely. So my website is right here. It's TanyaTalksMortgages.com. So it's super simple. All of my contact info is out there. So my phone number is 540-205-4783. My email is way too long to put on here, but I'll say it anyway. It's Tonya.Kern at onepresidentialmtg.com. Gosh, it's a mouthful. Just go to TanyaTalksMortgages.com. Look me up. That's my Instagram handle as well, Tonya Talks Mortgages. I'm all over social media, easy to get in touch with, and I would love to hear from you.
Absolutely, Tanya. I just want to thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to get to know what your company offer. And not only that, I feel like I got to know you. So I'm looking forward to this being the year of growth opportunity for both of us, as well as our clients that connect with us. So I just want to thank you once again from the bottom of my heart on behalf of Women Council of Realtors Richmond and Women's Council of Realtors Virginia. And thanks so much for your sponsorship.
Thank you, Tandra. This was lovely, and it was so great to chat with you. And I really